going here. We're announcing liveness.
I don't know why camels need those, but they have them.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as we had left off, you had just made it back to Riverhaven to see it absolutely destroyed. Just nothing but bricks and embers. Um, he did some searching around, found some uh news of family, but no real signs of them sticking around. Um, you probably decided to rest up here and are ready to probably make your way back out. What's the vibe?
Right, we also found out that wasn't Father Daniel's real skeleton.
That was also true. It is not Father Daniel's skeleton. Very important to remember that. If that's not in the notes for us, put it in the notes.
I put 3 exclamation points this time.
It had 2 last time. It's not enough.
We're adding an asterisk.
So I will say that we can just sort of wave you collecting the water from the river. We don't need to do anything about that. Kelsey, the
Roll
river.
initiative for the water.
Roll initiative as the water god appears, the one who steals water magic for himself.
Hence why nobody has ever been able to do it.
Yeah.
You just uncovered a hidden lore, you fucks.
All right. Did anyone have a 28 initiative? No. All right. So he's turned all your blood. He's taken all of the liquid out of your blood.
Oh no.
Oh no, not the liquid.
Powdered
of my
blood.
That's actually
fine because you've also been turned into a rock.
It's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Oh, you would instantly be dead. There's nothing.
Well, yeah, I would die, but what would be the remains?
You
Dried
could
husk.
rehydrate it. What if that's
You aren't
the
like
key to
taking the liquid
immortality?
out of me. You're
Freeze
taking the
drying.
liquid out of my blood.
Well, I don't know where most of the water is. Like how much of the water is blood and how much of the water is just stored in the cells.
Well, it's not even about the water. It's just about like there's like the liquid of the body and then the liquid of the blood.
Stole your yellow bile. What are you going to do?
Yep. You're nothing but phlegm. Truly you become nothing but your other base humors.
Damn. So after we die, what happens?
Are you leaving? Like what's your plan?
Well, actually, I
What
get
happens
wrecked
when
that
we
night?
die?
Saying what?
Well, so because that. So
oh yeah, you have been working on something that has absolute, energy destruction of your body.
Yeah, so because we set up, we had like the meal in the tavern that night. We set up our wagons. We collect our water. We rest before leaving town, and then I get fucking annihilated again because I'm an idiot.
You continue to push the bounds of magic, not asking if you should, but whether or not you could.
Okay.
Are you okay, Teddy?
All right. So how does this work? Because I asked you to wait to explain this before session or for session.
Yes. So earlier, you started with just a big stone that you brought around, and then you gave it legs. So it's sort of like
Right.
a weird quadruped stone turtle.
I forgot. It's
you-
Chip from League of Legends.
You then designed the crystalline structure that could contain some amount of simple thoughts, and have imparted your energy into it, such that without your actions to make it move, it can now move on its own. It is a simple golem that is able to ambulate. It doesn't have any any hands or anything, so it can't grab.
Gollum these nuts.
Doesn't really have a face right now. You haven't given it such a thing, but it is able to move on its own as though you are controlling it, and the cost to maintain this is currently 1 energy per day
Okay.
from you. But
Alright.
you did get absolutely wrecked the first day you turned it on because starting it up has an added cost.
All right. And I do like the thought of it being like Chip. So I'm gonna, but it can't actually be Chip, so I need to find fan art of Chip so Riot doesn't get mad.
You know, it it has that vibe. That is kind of the vibe. It's a little
I
more
love
turtle-esque
Chip.
in my mind, but that's
I love
real
Chip.
close.
Chip is so good. So pure.
Yeah, on top of your eventual need to draw as a cool deer with cool plant features, you also need to
Yeah.
draw a stone golem guy.
Turtle.
Yeah.
Put it on the list.
It's on the list.
You just made the list.
Yeah. So you've
will
basically
buy you-
almost just passed out that night. Just
Is this just a common occurrence at this point with Teddy? He just passes out.
this is like, I don't think any of there's been like 1 or 2 times that you guys have gotten into the big fight. Everyone got pretty hurt. Teddy is the only character who, on no less than 2 or 3 occasions now, has just fully pushed his magic to the point of draining him, where like if he went 2 steps further, he would probably have just died.
Damn.
Just pushing up against the bounds.
I
So-
feel like me figuring out weather was pretty pushing the limits.
Well, you didn't figure out weather. You figured out how to
Yeah.
make wind.
Yeah, it's a start.
Yeah.
That makes
Like
sense,
if
I
you
Liam
had
guess.
just
fully made a
thinks-
cloud, that could hurt
Liam
you.
thinking is pushing the limits of his ability.
Technically, once you have wind, that's like you got to get hot wind and cold wind interacting, and then you can sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I figured out how to do hot and cold. That was the whole point. Is that
Yeah.
I know how to do either or.
Yeah, and if you do both in the right combinations, you can make a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like a tornado, I think that's just hot heat fronts hitting cold fronts.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, I'm not science, man.
Probably not a very big one. It'd be like one of those vortex tubes.
So it depends on how big of a heat and cold front he's able to make.
Would it be too much to say that I wanna keep applying that whole wind thing while we're making our journey? So wherever we are, if it's like hot, I want to make it a little cooler around the wagon, like continuously, or is that pushing it a little too much?
You can do that.
Okay, so once I figured it out, I can kind of just apply it however much I want.
I would say it costs an energy a day to maintain it for the whole day.
Okay, how many days do we have left?
About a week.
But we also rest, so I assume it just resets itself.
It only matters if you run into a combat and you're down one energy for that. Then
All right, well, we'll keep going then, and I'll mark one off if something happens.
yeah. So, does anyone have anything that you wish to do before setting out on the road?
Nope.
I'm gonna make
That
a
seems to be the
little.
consensus.
While we okay, so are we gonna basically enter the desert area?
There is still a day's travel out at least.
Okay, while we're approaching it, I'm gonna say we can like see it in the horizon. I'm gonna make like a tiny, like a big enough umbrella for Richie that like I can put it, attach it to my shoulder, and it kind of like has shade that covers Richie, so Richie doesn't get like heat stroke.
Fuck's Rich.
Sorry,
Who the fuck's Richie?
Who the fuck is Richie?
Bush baby, isn't it?
the bush baby.
You're putting an umbrella over a squirrel?
I'm putting a leaf umbrella above a squirrel. Yeah, because
Okay.
we're going into the desert.
Yeah. That's that's
Okay.
fine.
I lean over to Junior and I say, they'll never have what we have. We got something special going on.
Yeah.
Why is it normal for squirrels to just tolerate blistering heat?
Here,
You wish. You wish you had Junior.
that's a decent profile pic. Like we could find something better later, but at least that's better than like a circle
Well,
while not being like copyright image.
That's
Going to avoid-
ship IRL.
I'm gonna avoid using images till we have legally obtained images.
Fair enough.
So the first 2 days of travel are uneventful as you then sort of make it, close to the border and you can see it in the distance. I will offer anyone to make an aware check.
Done.
Done and done.
Oh, I'm gonna explode that.
Good idea.
I'll do it too. But I gotta open my shit because I don't know how much aware I have.
So does it reset right? No, it doesn't reset right away.
I'll reset right away.
Okay. Damn, Mike, do you have any insight tokens?
I do. I will actually explode mine.
Oh
Man, we are
shit!
so aware. It's an
Explosion.
open desert.
So that makes that a D12, correct?
Yes, that
There
rest-
better be some crazy shit going on here. Oh my god!
God damn. We are so aware.
Does a search or sound check apply here?
I would say you could you could probably add search to it.
Okay.
So I'm at a D20.
Three
I
of
put
you
down a D20. Right?
exploded to D20 on this exact aware check.
Huh?
They both rolled 11s and used a token. You went from a 10 to a 20 here.
Yeah. I'm just so aware. I've slept through the past 3 days, and I'm now hyper focused.
You're now rested enough that you see.
Yeah. This is the rest Miko requires to perform at 100%.
Actually, I think it's fun. Is it funnier if your plant nature, we're actually finding out that you require a large amount of sunlight?
Oh,
You
that would
actually
be
are
cute.
photosynthesizing.
Which
That would
wouldn't
be cute if my thing wasn't mushrooms who don't photosynthesize.
Yeah. You, you are weird mushrooms that do need extreme sunlight.
Or
that,
you've
that do
actually
need heat.
or you were just you've been waterlogged this entire time.
Yeah.
You're just you thrive in a dry environment.
Hell yeah.
All right. So,
I'm fermenting.
Liam and Callum, I'll ask you, what are you most interested in? Are you more interested in like uh flora, fauna, um points of interest, or uh any other sort of
Vascularity.
uh you know signs of
No, the fact that the sun's
humanity?
disappeared.
Which of those four are you most interested in?
What were the four?
I'll say
Flora,
points of interest.
fauna, points of interest, and signs of humanity.
What's the flora and fauna again?
Plant, animal.
Okay. Hmm. He did points of interest. I'll do fauna.
Okay. So we'll start with you. You see, as you are, um, as you're sort of, south of the rock, on the map, you notice a herd of sort of these large bison-like creatures that have glowing horns. And normally you know of these creatures to sort of there's a plains here that is the bridge between sort of the desert and the woods, and they tend to sort of they go into the desert some, but they tend to stick to the plains. But something you notice is that they seem to be like almost acting like they are migrating south, closer to the desert.
Like, are they? Do they seem like they're in a panic or just generally migrating south?
They don't seem actively panicked about it, but they are making um it is an active, like, this entire herd is just heading south in a way that, like, you would normally see them like grazing around here. Something is causing them to want to go further south.
Mm. I will relay this to the party.
The points of interest wise, you notice as you make it to the border, there's sort of a path that goes. You see, like it starts up half of the mountain. Like it's actually the path that you took when you came down here the first time. But additionally, you do see a cave that you think would cut through and maybe save you a little bit of time, but you don't know what's in the cave. And now to go into Maiko, who got a
Who opened their third eye and
38.
saw.
Yeah. Your just antlers are blooming, the flowers are eyeballs, like
You notice the thing that you notice all of those things, and additionally, um, you see that similarly to how the forest had started to grow, those plants are spreading further south. Like,
Okay.
but you think that the reason those creatures are moving south is that the region and the climate that they are used to is pushing south.
Shit, guys, it's climate change.
But good.
You're not sure, but there is a chance that the desert might be affected by this eventually. And for signs of humanity, you notice that cave trail definitely isn't an unknown passage. It has been used before.
Oh, chill. Let's go through the cave.
Right.
All right.
bum 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 bum.
So I do tell my companions, hey, I think we should go through the cave. It seems like people, it appears to be a thing people do.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Like, look, with my great awareness check, I saw this sign that says go through here.
That says cool, safe shortcut to Emberhome.
The good tunnel.
Are you traveling? Come through this cave.
Not a trap. Actually,
Not a
Zero
trap.
bandits involved in the cave.
And it's actually the truth. It's not bandits. It's like fucking pirates.
it's like dripping red, but it's actually berry juice, not blood.
So
Yeah.
in your mind, what is the difference between a bandit and a pirate? Especially given
listen.
that these people would be fully inland.
I'm not.
Well, maybe they would be on a boat.
in the
It's
cave.
sand ships.
Yeah.
Sand
Yeah, like
ship?
an Avatar. The
Hell yeah.
fucking desert pirates.
Yeah, they're especially because they could be energy users blowing the sails with wind.
Yeah,
Come
this is
on,
world.
man.
We're doing this for you, Alex.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
world
but
building
I was
for
reading they're
you.
in a cave. Like if you ran into
Yeah.
them on the road, that would.
Well, don't you know there's water in the cave? There's
Well,
like a
they
puddle.
gotta. We've established this is a great shortcut.
Yeah.
Then it gets
Yeah.
more complicated when you bring brigands into the mix.
There's water in the
Yeah.
cave. They have built a full galleon. Only in the cave. In the water. 40 cannons on each side.
Yeah.
It cannot go anywhere.
By the way, you never brought it up. When are we resetting our desperation dice?
At the end of the arc.
Okay, because I thought that was when we met with the plant people.
There was
You never brought that up.
There was a reset of the desperation dice at the If you have used them since between the
I have not.
meeting and now, those ones have not reset. Any of the other ones have reset.
Okay, you did not instruct us
I
that
feel like I mentioned, but
I
it's
feel like
been
it got brought
4
up.
weeks.
I
it
don't
was
recall
not in
this,
fact
but I
brought up. But okay.
Anyway, cave. We're gonna find that 40 cannon galleon.
Yeah. So the cave is nice. It's wide enough cave. It allows for full wagon travel. As you get into it, you assume that like caravans come through here, and this cave is wide enough to probably support 2 wagons side by side. So like you could you guys are traveling
Cool.
through easily, and like groups much larger than you probably take it.
Yeah.
Does it look like this cave was widened with stone magic?
Yes. You believe that stone magic did play a role in like just parts of it seem too convenient to be natural. Like, you know, not even about the sort of smoothness and width of it. It's just that like, you expect more offshoots. It doesn't feel like there's water that eroded parts of this. It seems to like parts of it have done that, and there's like offshoots. There's clearly the main path of this cave, and then several offshoots that go down and around out of it, and those seem natural, but this main through line seems augmented.
I would have expected your question to be like, did they burn a hole into a mountain?
It would take
But
a
yeah,
lot longer.
I guess, yeah. It's just we're
Because
not.
even if you burn a hole into the mountain, you're going to need to then dig all of that burned stuff out. Unless
Well,
you're able
I
to
guess
disintegrate to an atomic level.
I guess that's true. It's just it doesn't. I guess it speaks to how common like we're not in the stone area, so it didn't occur to me like how much cooperation there is and how like
It is
even
strange to you. Because you've already seen the bias against energy people. But,
I guess how hard would it like how hard do I think it would be for me to do something like this? I'm just musing about it. I don't think I would like say it out loud.
it would take, like, if you had put your mind to it, it would take you maybe a month, and you alone, it would take probably 3 months. But, like, if you had even a couple people, it's a month's work.
Just like connecting tunnels and like
Widening
things like
things,
that.
shifting walls.
Are there
Okay.
support beams in the cave? Or is it just the stone holding itself?
The stone is holding itself.
Because that is like a health hazard. Regardless of whether or not you use powers, you need something to like hold the weight.
You can tell that like part of the unnatural nature is like accounting for, you know, molding the cave such that it does support itself. It has
Okay.
like almost unnatural arches of stone.
Right. Okay.
That work as supports. But it doesn't have like a clear like center beam, because that would ruin the throughput. Right? Like
Sure. Sure. That was just a small thing I thought
seemed
about.
natural. But there's definitely an engineering mind to it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's also lit by little glowing crystals.
Like the cave in Avatar in like book 2.
I don't fucking know, man. Why do you keep bringing it up?
What? What do you
It's a
mean?
good show.
That was the
You have
first
some,
time I've ever.
you have some problems with me and Avatar?
No,
There's
we
no
like
more an
we
emperor.
like the show and we like this campaign.
that was just an example because in that show there's a cave that is glowing with
Yeah, but we talked about the
crystals.
sand pirates that you're like from Avatar, and now it's like
But I didn't
Yeah.
caves
say
with
that, so don't
crystals
give me
like
shit.
from Avatar,
Hey,
like
hey,
Avatar.
hey, do we have to kiss in the cave like an avatar?
And first
It's
off,
the only way
you
out.
didn't have sand pirates. We made
Yeah.
up the sand pirates.
Yes, but like we keep looping back to Avatar about everything. It's just
Don't
weird.
be so offended by us having a good show in our heads.
Like that one, they didn't even invent glowing crystals.
No, it was.
Vibes.
Name another show or movie where there's glowing crystals in a cave.
Fucking New Zealand on our planet. Limestone on our
really?
planet.
Does it,
Yeah,
it
well, they're
glows?
glowworms, but like, yeah.
Okay.
Well, if it's worms, then sure.
Any
I thought it was actually
any form of fantasy has glowing crystals in it. I nearly guarantee it.
Yeah, okay, but I was just
Literally-
using a fucking example in my mind.
I'm not truly mad. It's just that it's weird that it's the second
I'm
time
getting
in
mad.
this many minutes that we keep going back to. Using wind
Fucking-
like in Avatar. Given that
You know
one
what?
of
I'm
their
about
power
to strike
sets
you
is
with
wind.
lightning like in Avatar.
And then I'll
That's when we find
redirect it
lost
like
tribe
in
water
Avatar.
mages. They actually exist
No,
the
you're
whole
gonna get
time.
stung in the
Wait.
back like in Avatar.
Remember how at the start of this you said we would make it to our destination?
Yeah,
Like,
you're
yeah.
right.
How do you feel about that now?
You're about to run into a
Anyway.
bunch of blue cat people. Like in
All right,
Avatar.
we go through the cave.
Yeah.
Uh,
Without incidents.
No kissing.
Yeah, actually,
No kissing.
this cave seems much safer. Lag, you remember on your journey that around this time, on the other path is where you ran into those sandworms. So it seems like
Yeah.
maybe they built this tunnel to avoid such creatures that cannot burrow
Well,
through
again.
the deep stone.
Sandworms like in Dune.
Yeah, the inventor of
Yeah,
worms
okay.
in the sand.
Yeah.
These sandworms shoot lightning, though. Does Dune have that?
No, these are much
actually, in the
cooler.
movie, they in the Frank Herbert movie, they actually conduct a lot of static electricity. It was pretty cinematic.
I still gotta watch those movies.
I would love to do a watch along.
Can we put the worms on the list
Yeah,
for
we
me
can
to
do that.
draw? Because that sounds dope as fuck.
I mean, are you gonna
If you-
draw the dune worms,
I-
or are you
I-
gonna draw like?
I want to draw the lightning worms.
I will
Okay.
I will buy you video games.
I believe that at any time I said that there's a thing that you wish to draw that you can, and then we'll work out a payment
You'll
plan.
pay me if I draw whatever I want.
As long as
Draws
Because I
it's,
like that
every
gig.
day
As long
and
as
gets
it's-
paid
I
for
like
it.
that gig.
as long as it's for the campaign.
Okay.
As long as you also
Well, we
don't
can
just
change with
bankrupt
the
yourself,
campaign.
Ninja.
Well, actually, in the
Right.
books, it's unclear which causes which, but there's dry lightning
Anyway.
around where Worm Breach is in Dune.
God damn it!
We're
All right, we're in the cave. No worms.
There are no worms in the cave.
I'm gonna
But are
put
there
just
kissies?
casually put my hand to the wall. I do want to feel like like because I do like as I brought up a
We'll
couple
have to
times
be
in the
right back.
past. I don't have and never really had a lot of exposure to other people's like stone work. Just yeah, like my father never really was much of it wasn't really much for his craft. He was more into body, and it was more I don't know how close I was with my cousin's family. Like and it was just a thing with my like I don't know, like I don't know how much in any neighbor. I feel like mind magic was the more prevalent magic in my household.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to kind of let my energy out into the wall, not really changing anything, just kind of feeling it.
Yeah.
So
You
I
can-
guess is this just roll stone?
Yeah, roll stone.
Okay. Can I roll stone aware, I guess?
Yeah.
I almost rolled a D9. Find me that die in the die box. I could explode something, but I don't want to.
Yeah. So with that, you're sort of sensing. You can tell there was probably 5 different people worked on different parts of the time. Based on like some of the walls have like more rounded texture to them. There clearly is like the work being done by uh they're all going towards one central idea, right? Like there's clearly somebody who's planned it out, and then it's sort of differences in execution that gets you the idea that there was probably about 5 different people working on the crafting of this.
So is it just like a bunch of different, I don't know, like textures or
Mhm.
like.
There's differences in texture. Like some walls are like, and it clearly comes with experience, right? There's you know walls as like especially around those central arches that work as the support to maintain the structure. It is precision smooth, like scalpel esque, cuts into the wall. Like you think that whoever was in charge of the whole plan did that personally themselves. While as, further out, in the less important areas that are just sort of moving stone, there's a lot more rough texture. But it ranges. Because, like, clearly there were some people who, like, this might have been, you know, one of the first few jobs they've ever done in the sort of tunneling department. Um, and some people who have like a level of like competency that means they've been doing this a long time, but not as much as the person who made the support structure. That person clearly would be considered almost like a master craftsman of this type of thing. And there is almost no visible flaw to anything that they shape.
And is there a visible or feelable difference to how the stone or like how the touch of their magic affects the work at all, or is it just there is stone in one area and there is stone in another?
I would say that like the difference is the more practiced people um almost are just allowing the stone are giving the stone a way to express itself, right? Instead of moving and forcing into place, it's it almost feels like they must have had a conversation, right? Like that they came to some understanding of the way that the stone might want to be in order for it to maintain the goal that they set out for it. Like the experts, the reason the stone looks so natural is because it is in a way a natural formation of stone. Like they just used magic to influence what the natural state of that stone would be, versus like the people who are less experienced, that it's almost as though somebody came in and carved out and chiseled parts of the stone.
Okay. And so I guess the thing is like certain parts of the rock are stronger because they are like a literal natural rock formation, whereas other things are inherently rougher as a, like they're just like strictly not a, they just aren't, right? And like there is grain there are like fault lines there from not being like smooth transitions.
Yes.
Okay. So, like, I guess from looking at this, it kind of occurs to me that, like, at least in terms of wanting to make a stronger work, I would either need to work in a larger area such that, my work wouldn't, it would be harder for an individual fault to manifest, or, I would need to work to at least match what other people are doing better.
Yeah.
So I'll think.
I would also say that as you go, you notice that like many of the offshoots of this tunnel are just natural formations of cave. One of them isn't.
And it's not the main way?
No, there is like one offshoot. It like you notice it mostly because it's deeper than like it seems to go down faster than a normal cave would, but not a straight drop. Like an incline that could be climbed through, but just doesn't have the right feel the other caves.
Okay. And so do I think that's the way then, or is this
No, the
like
way is
someone
very clearly still just like this is a straight line path that is like that way like a person could walk through it. Like you couldn't get the carts through it even.
Okay. So but this is clearly someone found something, or this is at least something interesting. This is like a path to something.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might be nothing. Um, I I I got a little distracted just doing a little art. I was kind of looking at the architecture. It's a little. I mean, you can't really see it. Um, but one of these tunnels isn't really a tunnel.
What do you mean?
Well, so a bunch of these that we've been passing are just like natural, and they could go off into nothing. But this one, this one's a path, and
Well,
like
that's
it
good, right?
well, yeah. Um, Now it's not the way, right? Like this one you found leads to where we're going. Definitely. Like you absolutely found the right way. But I'm a little curious cuz this is like hidden kind of,
Right.
right? And I kind of just want to I don't know, I kind of want to know what it leads to.
So
I'm just
before
like a
you
little
were, no, go ahead.
I'm just kind of curious.
Okay.
We have no
Before you
reason to
were
go.
doing the whole like stone thing, I was considering like because I assumed this is a cave, so this must be the kind of like environment where the kinds of plants that are right up my alley would grow. Assumedly.
Mhm.
DM.
Mushrooms?
Confirm or deny mushrooms, moss, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I was considering doing a plant and mind magic roll to see if the flora around here could communicate something to me. And I feel like that would be a good vibe to shoot into those to be like, hey, is this a good path to go down? This like secret tunnel from Avatar.
Yeah, you can talk to the,
Just to like get a like if they can communicate something to me regarding uh what did I do? Expect end of input or white space, but D found.
yeah, you could talk to the friendly mushroom parentheses from Avatar.
Wait, would you, if you'd like, I can help try to boost your little mushroom spores. Just give you your guys a little bump.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I will also use 2 insight tokens to explode my plant dice.
All right. Well, wait. You might not even need to.
Oh, don't I?
Well,
Depending on what my
based on
thing
his
does.
support, he
Okay.
might.
Okay. You do that first then.
Okay. So I'm just gonna take your hands and all right. Oh.
And then we kiss like an avatar.
I am going to do an empathic boost.
Okay. So like can I explode my plant dice with this?
You would I would say that is a failure of the empathic boost. He was still
Aw,
using the 2
okay.
tokens, but Teddy gets a token.
Okay.
All right, yeah. It was a 30, or 31. You are, you're communicating through the moss and the mushrooms that grow here.
It is in fact harder to link a person to mushrooms than it is to a deer.
Who'd have thought?
It's almost as though a deer has thoughts and a mushroom kind of
Yeah, it
doesn't.
has a brain.
Soon.
You sort of sense them going down into all of the different caves that are around there, and then you sort of focus the one that's not technically natural. And you do sense that there are mushrooms there, but it seems there are less of them. And they imply to you like time is strange to a mushroom. They are sort of a being that aren't as well as I know bound as much to our form of mortality. And so they
You cannot kill me in any way that matters.
Decay exists as an extant life form.
I'm more meaning the fact that I don't know, do mushrooms age? Like
No,
like
Not particularly.
yeah. So
they just vibing.
They are the reproductive form of the mycelium mat beneath them.
Yeah. And that gives you an insight that it hasn't really been disturbed for a very long time. They don't know what years are in order to imply to
Okay.
you, but other paths, you know, you can sense like a bat's been through there or something like that. Sometimes people go into these caves to look for things. This path hasn't been touched for
No.
as long as the mushrooms can remember.
Okay. Right, so Teddy, that path does sound very interesting. Just so you know, nothing alive seems to have gone there ever.
Huh.
So I don't know if there's something down there that's just like bad for life, but like I mean, we can check it out. I'm not worried if
Yeah,
you're
we
not
don't know if
worried.
it's just full of
Cave chicken.
carbon dioxide and would kill you
Yeah.
instantly if you walk down
We
there.
might die, but
Um,
it is interesting.
All right. Well,
Well,
You
we
know-
have 2 plant people. We can probably create oxygen.
I don't know about
And-
that.
and we do have my lovely friend.
I also can't make wind now.
Oh yeah, just make your rock guy go down there.
I guess, what scale were you expecting the rock guy to be?
I was thinking like knee height.
Because when I thought that this guy was an extrapolation of the big plate you were
boulder. Yeah.
moving around, which
So
if
he
you
might not
scaled
be
him
able
down,
to fit.
like if you wanted to scale him down, you can. I just pictured him the size of a cart.
He is currently cart size.
Okay.
So the air is bad down there is what we're thinking.
Well, there's
I-
something
I-
bad
I-
down there.
I
It
need
might
to
be
imply
the
to
like
you-
great filter.
I need to imply to you that was a joke.
Oh, okay. So we
like,
don't know.
there's been nothing implied to you. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing that you guys know
We
that would
don't know.
actually lead you to that line of logic.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah.
that no
Listen,
life
Like
has
there's
even
no
gone down
reason
there.
to believe there's something there that kills people because people just haven't gone there.
All right.
Listen, there's 3 of us
That
with
being
plant magic.
said-
We just make a super tree and turn all the carbon dioxide into oxygen.
Okay. That being said, we are actually planning on exploring a cave that hasn't been touched for a while, so we
Yeah.
should carry a torch.
Yes. We should carry a torch. And also this is like a cave diver's wet dream. So let's
Well,
do it.
actually I could just shape the stone. We're not gonna get stuck in a cave.
What if I
I'm not
want
gonna get
to?
stuck in a cave. Maiko,
If you wish to die in a cave,
I'm
you
stuck in
can.
the cave step, brother.
I
God, I wish I could remember that fucking meme song now that they play at every cave diver video.
Yeah, anyway, let's creep into Satan's asshole. And then Miko
I will
heads
follow
in.
behind Mike
Do
as I hand him a lit torch.
we have those?
I want to make
Yes,
a note,
we have torches.
Ninja.
We were given supplies.
Yeah.
Right.
Oddly enough,
Yeah,
no
I wanna-
torches.
I want to
I
make
mean,
a...
I would ask why torches because we were expected to be walking on open field.
But there is an oil
Light at
lamp for
night,
some
we were
reason.
given basic equipment. That's the
I
end of the
don't
story.
know, whatever.
Yeah. A torch or lamp is considered basic equipment here.
I want to ask you, Ninja, what's
No.
the range of what the light touches from the torch compared to the vision of like us as people? Because I do have nocturnal, which I believe means that I should be able to see in the darkness. Or sorry, that's being able to sleep, or sorry, sleep less. at night.
What do you mean you have not?
Sorry, I'm mixing up the word nocturnal with its actual meaning, aren't I?
What do you mean you have it? Is it one
I
of your
have it.
skills?
It's a sub skill.
Is this a sub skill of what?
It's just nocturnal.
Having
Oh,
eyeballs.
Yeah. What do you mean a sub?
You also just don't need a torch. I can
Yeah.
use energy here. This is the energy
Nocturnal
capital.
is a sub skill that you're looking for you having night vision, which technically
Sorry,
anyone
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
animal powers can just sort of adapt their eyes.
Llewellyn can see in the dark.
Well,
Like,
we
I'm
have
just-
light, so whatever.
I'm just trying to like ask if there's light with our torch or our energy, whatever the fuck. But if there's darkness ahead of us where the light doesn't touch, can people who have night vision see beyond what the torch light shows?
Yes, I would say that like basically we would say that 30 feet around you is lit up by the torch, and then 30 feet beyond that is probably dim light of the torch, which if you have night vision you can see pretty clearly in.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. If we could see 60 whatever it was then. All right, let's go fucking.
So
cave
what's
down
the
here, I guess.
order of people going into the cave?
Maiko, then me.
And B, I guess.
I'll go next. Well, no, Llewellyn is last.
And so you are walking down this path, and it sort of, it twists, turns, but it's mostly like it doesn't offshoot. Anyone can make an awareness check. This is sound based.
Ooh.
Now, I have a question for you. Did you piss off like a god of dice rolling?
Yeah, once or
He-
twice, level
he-
low.
He tried DMing once, and the gods was like, "That is punishment
Yeah,
for the
once
rest
you
of your
escape
life."
being a DM, the gods of luck do turn against you.
Oh
That
shit! I rolled a nat 1, dude.
Damn.
anyone who got above a 10, I would say succeeds. You
go.
hear a light whirring sound that grows as you continue down tunnel.
Whirring?
Oh.
Yeah, like a
Does it sound mechanical in nature or?
yeah, kind of.
Oh, that's.
There's a car down
Where do you think the carbon monoxide came from?
It's the good old car in the cave.
Gets him every time.
Rocks fall, everyone dies. Nah, dude. A Honda Civic in a cave that kills you with carbon
I
monoxide.
turned the rocks into sand. I eat the sand. I am the sand.
Sand is the mind killer.
So you guys hearing that?
Yeah, I do hear that. Can we see anything? Like,
does
is it a
does
straight
this
path?
worry you?
I don't know how to feel.
What about?
I mean, we already decided to do this, so are we committing, or are we deciding that the hearing
let's
noise?
do it.
Maybe no people
Are
have been
any of
down
the
here
light
because everyone
crystals still
else has
down
been
this way?
deterred.
There are less of them, but there are still some.
Okay, so we should keep going then.
Yeah. Everyone else has been deterred by the whirring sound, but not us. We're like the meme of the guy that kept going with the pickaxe and we're about to hit the diamonds. Let's go.
And by everyone else, you mean specifically Liam, because Callum doesn't hear the whirring noise.
Yeah. No, I mean every other person that has gone down
Oh.
this cave.
Well, actually, but like,
And
you know, the mushrooms imply that people haven't even made it this far.
oh.
Yeah, and the mushroom can't hear the whirring.
The mushroom don't care.
What would that mean to a mushroom?
When did the
Well,
mushroom
the
ever have
mushroom
ears?
would be like, damn, they're so Honda Civic down there.
This
Like,
is
just if they
weird
would hear
noise.
mushrooms, they would have heard
Alright,
it.
is the path we're taking a straight path, or is it like kind of
It's
a
wobbly?
gay
Are we
path.
going around corners,
Slightly
or
winding. I said so earlier.
sorry, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, like it turns.
It's winding, like
twists,
it turns.
but it's like one path. It doesn't like offshoot and you have to pick left
No,
or
no, no.
right.
I was just more wondering if we could see way ahead of ourselves,
No.
or if we're like turning corners.
You are turning corners.
Fuck. Okay, can we be careful when we're approaching the noise, guys?
No, I close my eyes and keep walking.
Into the wall before the
Yeah.
turn.
What does
Into the wall and pass out.
I like how your idea of not being careful isn't running ahead at full speed. It's like, well, I'm gonna go into this fully not looking at it.
Blind.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be careful. Can I would like to
Blow up the cave.
no, I'd like to try to I don't think I've ever done this before. I think I've done it for other people or similar things. I'd I'd like to try to see if I can like enhance my I want to like rub my fingers around my ears and see if I can like enhance my focus around my hearing and like kind of see if I can just with my mind magic like kind of slow just give myself a little bit more reaction time.
Okay. Are you willing to sacrifice any of your other senses?
I think yeah, I'll give up taste. So let's so just mind enhanced cognition. All right.
He's not gonna know what hit him when he hits the wall of cinnamon gas.
Cinnamon gas. Guys, it tastes powdery.
Let's
What
see.
is
Do I have
what is the
any
smell
other
of cinnamon?
mind things
Spicy?
that work here?
Like cinnamon.
All right.
Like cinnamon is a spice, right?
Yeah, technically.
I'll explode my mind there with one awareness.
You know, that makes for a good question. How difficult is it to make spices with plant magic?
I think it depends on the ice. How hard is it to grow it? Are you in the right climate?
Do you have
You
a
have this-
seed to start? Do you have an analogous seed, like in the same family? And are you aware of what the plant was? Have you tried the plant before?
There are many
Alright.
facts.
I am in
It's
fact
still
not
worth
going to
something in this
spend
area.
5.
I
Right.
believe
So-
they with the score you got there, you feel pretty prepared for if something was to try to ambush you.
Okay. We continue on.
All right. After another 15 minutes of walking, you come into sort of an opening of the cave into like a wide room almost, sort of circular. Um, and what you see is basically this map without like just sort of
We're
the
still on the world map.
yes. It is the world map folded around you into like a three-dimensional shape, right? None of the markers are on it though. It's just the shape of the continent. And in the center of the room is a machine that is going that's clearly whirring, but like you can tell based on the sound that it's like hitting against something that like something's wrong with the machine.
Okay, so we went from being in a tunnel or like a kind of vague cave tunnel, right?
Hmm?
To being in an inverse globe
Yes.
with something vaguely mechanical in the middle.
Yes. A tunnel that I told you was man-made.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna roll awareness right now. I feel like this is awareness mind to just even fully recognize that this is like a globe. 'Cause this is like insane. Like this is fully insane what we're in.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I wasn't here for the explanation, so just hearing the tidbits is kind of crazy.
It is this map folded out onto the dome of the entire ceiling of this room. But it
Mm,
doesn't have any of the markers on it. It's just the shape of the continent.
okay. Is there any like um
Right.
pointers saying you are here?
Uh, not
Do I need to roll an awareness check to know
not
that?
really. No, it doesn't seem. The machine in the center is not working. It seems like if you want to roll any sort of awareness on the machine itself,
Yeah, I'm gonna check out the machine.
it's interesting that we run into tech every time the tech person isn't here.
Yeah.
So with an 18, I would say
I will re-roll that just because like I feel that was drastically under average. That is not
Well,
better.
yeah. So technically speaking, the average there is 4.5 plus 4.5, so that's 9 plus 5.5. So your average is something near 15, and you've rolled a 10 followed by an 11.
Damn it! I want one more. Oh my fucking god! Really? Okay.
Teddy just doesn't get
You know
it.
what? You don't know. I explained this for free, but you decided that no, Teddy doesn't get the ceiling and
I
doesn't
like.
make
I
the
just
connection.
my character is just like it. Look, there have been several times in these last few weeks where like my character fully should understand what's going on and like probably honestly does, but it's just too much.
Well, now I know even less about it.
Okay, so, Maiko, you look at this thing, and you can see that there's a light that like is being channeled in the center of this machine, and there's something that's supposed like the whirring. It is like there's a set of gears, but as you get close enough, you can hear as something catches inside the machine.
There's something stuck in there, isn't there?
Something
Is this how I
that's
lose my arm? Am I
supposed
gonna
to
reach
rotate.
in there?
Yeah, you reach in there.
You know what? Let's figure out that because the ceiling I think if I actually stop to let my brain understand it will hurt me more than any of my magic does. So let's figure that out.
So what I would have you roll if you're going to attempt to fix this is non-magic mind plus either agility or muscle, depending on what way. Like if you're trying to fix it by like reaching in and being. Are you
Yeah,
surgical or are you trying to just grab whatever's stuck?
I'm trying to be quick about it.
Okay.
I can help you with that
How?
Enhance
by
the mind
making
type.
you very
Hyping
good.
me up.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Hype check.
I feel so bad for Nick here, but at the same time, he just isn't here. All right.
We can figure out the vampire dens.
All right. So just like don't die.
Well, I'm not gonna die. If anything, I'm gonna lose an arm.
You weren't there when I did this to Llewellyn. So I'm going to um like touch the base of your spine where
So my butt.
no,
Like
where it connects to your head,
yeah,
dummy.
the other base of the
Is that the
spine.
base? Isn't that the top?
Yeah, no,
Technically, there
the
are two zones that I think are at the base.
Yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. Keep going.
your fucking lizard brain, right? And I'm gonna like give it like a gentle squeeze, and then you're gonna feel a light zap, and let's see how well this goes. As I'm gonna try to empathically boost your lizard brain reflexes. 6. Mm. 8, 9, 6. And fuck it, because I want this to work, because Llewellyn isn't here. I'll use my D6. Desperation dice. That is gross. I'll re-roll that. Just statistically is bad.
It just kills me. I get
No,
zapped and I die.
there we go. That's better. I'll use 2 insight tokens to explode the 8.
There's 2 ones in there.
I know, and I hate it, but that's just how dice work for me. Cool. I'll use 2 insight tokens to explode.
All right, I'm
the-
going to ask you a question as we get here. How willing to commit are you?
Oh no,
Me?
I'm just going full what I did to Llewellyn.
Okay.
If because
And
I think
willing
it's
to take
funny.
whatever consequences become that.
Oh, I just like. I mean, I had a full double explode into a.
That's just
Oh, shit.
you just said
Oh.
20.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'm just like,
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, that's more like it.
yeah.
There we go.
All
Okay.
right. 3 energy. You're by the way, Maiko, for the rest of the session, your agility die explodes on the top 3 numbers instead of just the 1.
Okay. That's
That's
pretty
not what
deep.
happened when I did it to fucking.
What, didn't you hit nearly a 50 on Llewellyn?
Fucking. Well, granted, I hit a much. I hit an 80 on Llewellyn,
Yeah.
but look, at least
Top 4 then.
yeah, that's much. There we go.
Well,
And
You
that
should re-roll
includes
yeah, I'm gonna do that again.
Okay.
That's an energy, right?
Yep, 1 energy.
Yeah. You can just tap the up arrow. There you go.
There we go. That's 1 crit and 1 failure.
Uh,
Based.
I would say,
Yeah.
technically speaking, if you put 1 insight token that is within 4, like the 6 is your agility, right?
Yeah.
So 4 away from a 6 is a 2. So technically 1 insight token explodes both.
Yeah, okay, let's do that then. So for it, wait, then let's just do this then. The 8. Jesus,
The
I'm
world
just not very
doesn't-
agile.
The world doesn't want you to get the full power of the agility.
So yeah,
But that is still yeah, so you basically, you like look at an angle to it so that you don't look directly into the light lens that's shooting up, and you see a piece of metal that clearly is supposed to spin and is just getting caught against something. Like a couple of pebbles have fallen into it and are causing it to catch, and you wait for it to be about to tick over, you grab one. You wait for it to tick, you grab one, and you do that until it eventually you hear, instead of you hear, and it just begins to spin, and the machine sort of lifts up the upper part where the light comes from, and a dome reaches around it, and the light sort of spins around, and on the map around you, you see points marked. Specifically, 5 points. Let me see what I can do here. So you see point here, point here, point here, point here, and point here.
Road trip.
Which star sign is that? Wait, the one behind Riverhaven, is that where we... No, wait. Wolffang Peak is where we were supposed to go, right?
That's what you climbed on that's where you go when the event is happening. Yes.
Okay.
It's like where the lab was, below Wolfang Peak.
Yeah, okay. So the circle is not where the lab was.
No.
Okay. Is the circle in the desert where we are headed?
Hmm?
Down the one in the desert? Is
Yep.
that where we're supposed to go?
No, you're hoping to go to Ember Hope.
Oh, okay. I see, I see, I see. Well, this means nothing to me. Fellas, any input?
Technically, I might have sort of.
Hmm.
When lag is, I will tell everyone a roll they can make. You want to try to imply from this.
Okay.
Or if you have an idea, I will allow you as a person to shout it out. If you just innately have a feeling about it.
A feeling about what?
Any of these shapes, where they're located. What could they be?
Oh, fuck. Okay. I'm gonna just say this out loud to the group. Theoretically, what if this were locations where the beasts are? Maybe one of these locations is where we, like, quote unquote, release the deer.
But didn't we find Junior near the lab?
No, we
Found it
found
between
Junior.
Lab and Everwood.
Oh. Well, that's suspicious. Yeah, I think you might be onto something.
We should definitely write this down.
Yeah,
at least mark it.
if only someone was taking notes.
Yeah, if only I wasn't the only one. Well, okay,
Why
what am
would
I supposed to
I?
take
Why
note of
would I
here?
need to take notes if you are
Because we're
doing
all
it so
playing the game.
diligently? You're doing it so
I'm
diligently.
not doing it perfectly. Anyway, what am I supposed to
I
take note
trust
of
you.
here? It's what he's showing us. I can't take a note of this.
Why not?
That was like you could screenshot.
Okay, but that's not the same as taking note. Is my point.
You could
Or
copy
we could
paste
just
it.
annotate it
note.
on the map. Personally, we could add our own map marker.
I think it's fine as it is. Just leave the marks.
No, red circles aren't good. But if we
We're
find our
never
own
leaving this
things-
map.
If we find our own things we want to add, like a little deer, a little like weird bone for the other things.
Well, you missed it. I was gonna say that everyone could roll a mind check to try to piece it together, but Forrest pitched out a pretty good answer.
Yeah, Force figured it out.
Crack the-
No, I want to
mean, I
see
don't
how
know if I
stupid
figured
I
it
am.
out. That was just a theory.
Yeah, let's see.
I like being
Let's see if
stupid.
Teddy understands it though.
Well, let's see if I'm cursed by the dice gods, anyways.
Yeah.
Teddy hasn't even gotten over the fact that he doesn't understand the map on the wall correlating to
No,
the map in
it's-
your hand.
I fundamentally refuse to reckon with the ceiling. I don't like it. I don't. You know what? I think fundamentally, like, I don't know if Teddy is a flat whatever this world is, but like I think that there are so many randomly weird and crazy things that Teddy walks in on that this is just one thing his brain doesn't want to compute with.
Yeah, just to be an annoying son of a bitch. I'm actually gonna move this over.
You know what? You should be annoying. It should be moving on the map.
Yeah, it's alive. Live GPS.
It should be slowly move. That should be why it broke. Is for some reason that one is constantly being erased and rescrawled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now you have that.
So why is this here though?
To hurt me.
Yeah, this was a trap after all. Just one
Some-
for Teddy.
Could you explain the environment of this area again, or this room?
Sort of a like a dome shaped stone room with the map painted
So
onto
someone,
the ceiling.
if one of us was able to actually understand, which none of us do, but from me, the person,
Well, I
to
didn't
you,
roll
the
actually.
person. Okay, well then I hope for you to roll a mind with bonuses.
Okay.
It
Can I
is
do
a
mind
it is
magic?
an inverse globe on the ceiling.
So did my IRL theory not transfer into my character's theory?
Well, did you roll 9 might actually mean Maiko understands that this is a globe map on the ceiling.
Well, it
Um,
would be concave.
Yeah. And then what did your fours? Liam rolled a 7.
I, 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 would,
7.
I would think a 7 is enough to realize that this is a map.
Well, no, 7 was for him to decipher whether or not that those are where the beasts potentially are.
Well, yes, but he knows it's a map and that those are locations marked on a map via this machine.
I also feel like it's a little easier if we have our own map and then we like reference the map on the ceiling with our map. It makes it a little easier to clue in on what is going on.
Also, the instinct you have realizing it's a map is the reason that it's domed isn't to like give any influence to like a round Earth, flat Earth theory thing. It is specifically
But
because
let's not even.
like the machine can't display all of these circles on a flat surface. Like the way this machine is built, it only works with the curve based on how the lenses have to lay out. Like the room is fit to the machine, not anything else.
My character's brain
And
is
again, what happened was, sorry, go ahead.
I'm good.
Okay. Sorry again, but all I was gonna say is, so we walked into this room. I'm not gonna lie, I was half paying attention for
Micro
a bit.
fix the machine.
Yeah, Michael fixed a like some kind of machine that was just in the room, and now the machine is displaying on the wall above us marks on this map that we may or may not theoretically know is a map, I guess.
Yeah.
So do we know it's a map by now so we can like
Yes, you
move
know
on
I
it-
think
that assumption?
everyone but Teddy knows.
You can say that it's a map. Teddy can decide whether or not he accepts that.
All right. So anyway, Teddy, talking about the map on the ceiling, and then we see that what was it again? Was it like red circles like there, or is it like a different
Why?
indication?
They are symbols displayed on the map.
What do they look like? What do these symbols look like?
They are a people of hubris.
Okay, Teddy.
There's a skull.
Okay.
There-
Hold on. Symbols.
How would I describe the beast to you?
Goal.
No,
Which beast?
The beasts.
no, you have not.
There are quite a few beasts.
Specifically the great ones.
Yes.
It was in school.
Okay,
Did you
but
get a description of them?
there are two that we know of right now. So
Ooh, let's see how much I remember my school.
Yeah, did you pay attention to the like mythological history?
like, are we referring to the deer beast or the decay beast?
That both of those count. You got two.
So it's just a general symbol for the great beasts.
No.
Then
I'm
what do you
asking,
mean?
did I ever go through the list of
No,
beasts
you-
to you?
No. We don't know. We only know two of them. And we don't know how many they are. I specifically remember asking you, like, hey, do we know how many? And you made a point to say that we only know two. And even by common knowledge, there isn't like an exact number.
Well, I would
Right.
think it would have been brought up in your schooling, but I guess none of you succeeded in actually giving a fuck at school.
I got a
feel like we did.
15 just now. If it was taught in school, Teddy remembers.
I asked you if there was like general knowledge of how many beasts there were, and you seemed to imply that there wasn't a certainty how many there were.
There are 5.
Okay, there are 5. But so, what does the symbol look like? That would
Teddy
indicate-
likes big monsters. Teddy thought that part in school was cool.
Okay, but sure. There's a skull. There's a symbol that represents the
No, no, no,
five beasts.
no. Don't tell him. Tell me in text, and then I will tell him. Because I made the check. He didn't make the check. I made the check. I
Well-
want to make this a role
Well,
play thing.
Okay, but
well,
one of the
this
symbols
is
is of the beast.
This is two different data points, but I guess we'll start with you first.
Yeah. You can tell him what the symbols are, but if he wants to know what the symbols mean, then I have
Okay,
to
that's
explain
fine.
it.
I
to you.
just need the symbol so I can write it down. That's all I need. Like, I just need a description. If one of them is like of the great beast, what does that mean? What does
No,
the symbol
none of them
look like?
are just the symbol of the great beasts. There's not like one guy who's like all of them.
Then why did you say skull beasts?
Hmm. I was maybe working on something. You know, maybe one of the things you run into would fit a category.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flick you in the forehead, Forrest.
This ain't my fault.
I did this.
No, I'm gonna go over there and hug Micah.
Dang.
You fucking brain invaded him.
But yeah, like, okay, all things considered, we may or may not know what's going on here. I want to know why it's going on here. What is this weird supervillain there? Why is this in this cave?
Yeah.
We should take it with us. That way, when
Machine or the room?
the machine,
The
that way,
entire room, we move it manually by moving the caves.
that way, when the machine, when Llewellyn feels like not being a deer with human teeth, he can figure out why the machine is doing what the machine is
How
doing.
is it even? Can we ascertain how this is being powered?
I just
Considering apparently no one has ever been
like
here.
clearly whoever put this machine here um built a room specifically for it that the only way this works is if you paint a perfect dome of the continent and you're like, what if we take the machine out of the room? It's like, oh yeah, it's gonna pitch light in 5 different directions that mean
No, no,
nothing
no.
without a map.
Oh, it was pitching light? I thought
Yeah.
it was drawing.
No, these are light symbols directed in the direction of these different places.
This is a fancy projector.
I thought it was like, okay, in my mind, not that my character knew this, right? Because like my character isn't tech, right?
Mhm.
But fundamentally, my understanding, right, was that like my understanding was that what we would find out theoretically is that this was like someone left this here to go do like a 100-year like equation of where these things are, and then like we fixed it, and it's like it then like continued and then sketched out where these things are. If it's just a projector, why is it here? Why not in like some room somewhere?
Well, I was gonna ask Ninja, like this room that we're in, does it have like a desk, like with books on it? Like, what is there? The environment one that indicates somebody was living here, or is it just the
There is
machine and the wall?
nothing else in this room other than this machine.
There is also the fact that somehow this is here despite no one ever using the fucking tunnel.
Does
In
so
the
this-
lifespan of those mushrooms.
Well, yeah, okay, so this is old as fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what is the decay of this room? Is it like old looking walls?
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, like there's moss and stuff that would grow on it, or like general like
Yeah, there's some moss
signs
that's
of it
grown.
being
Like,
old.
Okay, I want to try to figure something out. Cuz you said this is a smaller tunnel, and I had checked previously. I want to see, is this a tunnel made by just one person, or is this a tunnel made by a different amount of people?
7
Like,
specifically.
well, no, because I actually spent time like kind of actually weirdly for my own edification, kind of looking at the craftsmanship of these stone workers who made the main tunnel. Like, is this someone who did this on their own? Was this one of those people? Is this an older work? So, can I roll stone aware on this?
yes.
I'll use 3 insight to explode my stone. Alright. Although I did actually enhance my awareness earlier.
By the way, Ninja, are you still typing out that thing for Teddy?
He did finish.
I did
typing it out.
send it out. You see a skull,
Yeah.
a tree,
Okay, a tree.
flame,
Tree, flame.
uh, a rock
Rock.
boulder shape, and a symbol that you know implies like a symbol you know to mean spirit.
Spirit. And okay, can I roll something to deduct that the tree symbol that is under Everwood, like to the south of it, is approximately the area where we were at when we rescued the deer?
Sure.
What would that be? Like,
Time magic mind plus if you have anything
mind,
that
okay.
does memory or three or
I'll do
spells.
lore
Yeah, lore that works.
or navigation. I guess works. All right, what is that? Let me check. All right.
All right, so Teddy, you know that one person built this tunnel.
Okay. And is it in the same hand as any of the other craftsmen?
No, and you do notice like the style is different.
Okay.
Like even if they were going, even though there's differences in the skill, the style of the way the stone was worked feels very different.
Okay. Now, as any like geology, like in geology in general, like time just is vastly different for
Mhm.
time scale. But like how settled is this work compared to the work that was done in the like other tunnel?
Much more so.
Okay. So like while they probably noticed this was here, like like I don't even think okay. It, it's odd,
There's a
but
chance
like I'm
like they wouldn't have noticed. Like you got to realize that these people were doing a job, right?
I guess that's true. Yeah.
And so their goal is to move out of like to move this stone. And this to them is one of 100 offshoots on this tunnel. You only
Yeah.
noticed this because you were putting effort into judging the stone um the stonework, and you realize that like there's a bunch of this that is natural that also that isn't. No.
Okay. Huh. So this might have been here just when this was all natural cave system, even potentially. I mean, I don't necessarily know when the cave it's or the path through was established. I would have had to look at the records, but these two constructions don't align. It's interesting.
And
It's just something to muse
Miko,
on.
from your understanding, those the mushroom system here is probably 200 to 300 years old.
Oh damn. This has been going on for a while.
Damn.
Um,
Well,
I will scatter some like crumbled up leaves that have been like stuck in my coat from where we were in the Everwood. It's like, well, thank you, mushrooms. I think this is how you thank mushrooms. I don't know. What a weird place. I'm gonna just wrap my cloak around the weird floating projector and start walking back up the tunnel. Just so
Is there a button on it that I can turn it off with?
Hello.
Ninja?
No, not that you see.
Okay. Hmm.
In fact, I would give you guys, because of the big knowledge, the big mind check Nico did at the beginning. Like the power source of this, like this thing only works as long as it stays running. If it ever is to stop, it would need something to get it started again.
Huh.
Yep. So I'm just gonna
Someone is going to get a surprising charge on their electricity bill.
So
walk.
can I feel if like there's energy coming off of it, as in like it's running through some kind of energy source?
Yeah, there's a light energy vibe at the bottom of it.
At the bottom, okay.
Pulling energy
So
and
let's like
sensing
keep a
energy.
note of this.
I tell exactly where that's coming from.
You sense a thing in the center of the, like the bottom center of the machine,
Can we see
like a
into
small
the?
round shape.
Okay, I guess I'll turn
Hmm.
it over for you. Just like let's not
Okay.
It
poke
is.
at it.
It is not liftable.
Oh, it's not liftable?
No,
It's not a mini projector.
How big is the thing?
about probably 4 feet across, made of metal.
I thought it was like floating.
Oh. It's
Oh.
in.
You
It's
made a lot of
literally
assumptions
in
about
the
this
center
thing.
of the room.
Okay.
Is
So
there
first of
anywhere
all-
it slides open around where I see the beer?
Guys, I do not want to break it before Llewellyn can look at it. Let's just move it up and put it on. Oh, I
The
get to
way-
name
What if we stop here and then when we come to next time the Welland will just be there? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Okay.
We're gonna make it.
Sure.
After this, we wrap that up. You guys are gonna make it to Ember Hope. I was gonna get to show. I rushed to build the map of Ember Hope 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, right before session, and we didn't get to use it then.
Well,
We
you
entered the
should have
cave,
known.
and then we just kept being in the cave until we started investigating stuff.
I'll judge just stone. We're professionals.
Yeah, look, your players are enjoying your world, man.
Yeah, it's just. I just, I didn't expect you guys to be so hung up on the projector itself.
Look, we want to show the machine thing to the machine boy,
This is fine. We're good. We could end here and continue next time.
and then we will sell the machine thing to the machine people who will not give
okay,
a
I
shit
mean,
about it.
Is it? How?
Yes,
how-
because this is a projector that only works if you build a room to this scale with the map drawn on the ceiling. It's
I mean, that's
we have-
doable.
fucking
We have
useless.
50 of them lying around. They're just all junk at this point to them.
All right. Anyway, we can wait for Llewellyn because after Llewellyn gets a look at it, I'm gonna be fiddling with that fucking thing.
All right. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.